The Coin Lady channel is pleased to have you back. The future of the Terra pricing in relation to Tony's and a Classic's prices is uncertain. Lastly, we'll explain everything in this video on what will happen to the quantity. This is getting interesting, so let's get down to brass tacks. Declan is returning to the United States. We will provide a comprehensive overview of the ongoing year-long effort to entice Duck to return and confront the aftermath of the Terra catastrophe in May 2022. Therefore, what do we have in particular with respect to this? The US was able to extradite him back to face charges, including for market manipulation and fraud, after the court of Puerto Rico granted it. Today, the Montenegrin government gave its approval. To clarify for the uninitiated, it's definitely sand, I'm afraid. Based on my observations and those of other sources, Daquan will likely return to prison. That's the cold, hard truth of the situation. This is it. Someone will extradite us. According to local media outlets, Daquan's extradition to the US was declared by the High Court of Puerto Rico on Wednesday, February 21st. The court's denial of South Korea's petition to extradite the former terrorists here was apparently the catalyst for the approval, which is part of the continuing efforts to gain Cohen's release and prosecute him on criminal charges. This is fascinating. Many are wondering what will happen in the end, but we do know that the SEC has been targeting Daquan, Terraform Labs, Coinbase XRP, and anyone else they choose to target for a while on their own. Chris Armani's evident elevation to the position of CEO at Terraform Labs makes this an intriguing development, and the Terra ecosystem is undoubtedly expanding. However, as mentioned before, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has ramped up its year-long legal campaign against Cohen in the past month, securing a trial date of March 25. He will face allegations of securities fraud, deceiving investors about the stability and reliability of the USD for personal gain, and arranging a multi-billion-dollar crypto assets scam in the end. This is when things start to heat up, because even before the massive collapse that did occur, there was an agenda at the SEC's core. We might or might not now get to the meat of what actually transpired. Many people think Sambungan was involved, while others think Alameda Labs was to blame. Fried that brought it down in the end. Lots of people think Doc was set up to go to zero. It will be fascinating to watch what happens. The South Korean government clearly wanted him to return. They succeeded in having Han Chong-jun, CFO of the Telephone Labs, extradited and now faces a life sentence in prison in his home country. I don't know if the US or South Korea would be better for DACA, but as I mentioned before, the prospect of a 40-year prison term is fascinating to consider. But what do you think? Is there any impact on the Luna price? Classic? Will it have any effect on fear? Leave a comment telling me what you think, I'm curious. We do know that Chris Armani is not backing down from his efforts to support some of the larger procedures on Luna. On the contrary, he is keeping busy. Now Luna has been going through a very nice patch, expanding its ecosystem with new partners and receiving a ton of cash from TFL's investments. Finally, he's bringing up Astroport Finance, which is still related to Terra Luna Classic. Indeed, it has shrunk from its former size. Even if they aren't putting forth much effort, they are the LAN in the end, he says. Chris, I'm here to stress the significance of nurturing the individuals who construct ecosystems. The part that I find particularly intriguing and would like you to focus on it. Not to mention, it's worth mentioning that they don't spend time here, which may be why their tech is the greatest. It can be done in various ways. It goes on to state that Sada is an excellent builder. We're fortunate to have him. Additionally, if we wish to conduct purity testing on all actions taken following the deep egg, we can expect a community of dedicated individuals working on concrete, unrelated initiatives. His discussion of the deep hack and the builder capable of working on it is intriguing since it provides a glimpse into what's happening at the lower end of the spectrum. They have been developing new protocols, which we are aware of. Major collaborations have been in the works, as far as we are aware. The inflow of liquidity is complete, as I mentioned before, considering this will be an intriguing task. Now let's return to Terra Luna Classic and observe how the decoy news impacts the pricing. About 50 million are still on the way out. Today, we did cut back. The 800 million USTC that result from the equation is obviously the subject of much discussion. To this day, it remains untrue. As that kind of progresses, we will provide updates. Look at the numbers, they're always worth your time. What are you seeing? 15.09%. The quintessential case of people piling value on top of each other. I think it's vital to make people feel like they're making progress, and that I'm decentralizing the process with a couple of votes that are coming through, so I'm wondering why the numbers aren't anything near the same as previously. He will play a significant role, in my opinion. At this point, what is the value of the price? When we look, Bitcoin prices are currently experiencing a slight upswing. Just now, at a discount of around 0.5% from the present debt, 51,800 surpassed this long-term trend line that we have. Nonetheless, we are above a couple of important measures, including the 200 exponential moving average, which is a positive development on the daily chart. We have been trading above this level for the past 2 weeks, having done so since February 10th. Similarly, the exponential moving average is highly significant on the 50-day chart. While the MACD and RSI remain in a positive area, we are still waiting for Luna to show some sentiment, and when this develops, Luna Classic will inevitably follow suit. We should expect to see some more progress when Luna Classic implements some of the agenda items and recommendations, and we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that the violent burn is returning in 9 days. It will be interesting to watch how that plays out. Also, Binance is still offering March. I think something will come out eventually, but I'm always curious to hear your thoughts. Could you please inform me if you believe that the extradition of Doc 1 to the United States would result in a court case that brings up all the events surrounding the Terra Luna crashes? You sorry? What impact do you believe it has on the cost? Just drop a remark telling me yes or no. Additionally, to stay abreast of all the newest happenings in the cryptocurrency world, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Your presence here today is tremendously appreciated. It would mean a lot to me if you could subscribe to my channel and rate it. Coming up shortly, farewell.